Good evening, everyone. I've got a Reddit family drama for you all today. I think you're all going to love it. Sister-in-law expects large inheritance from dad's will. I tell her the truth how my dad feel. Good morning, Reddit. My name is Monica, 28 female, or you can call me OP since I'm the OP of this post. I have a family problem for you all, and I could use any advice I could get. I'm going to cut right to the heart of the matter here. First, let me tell you all about my horrid sister-in-law, Shayla, 28 female. If you looked up jerk in the dictionary, I think you'd find a picture of her standing there with that stupid grin on her face. Shayla has always been spoiled rotten. She was a cheerleader in high school, and I was a studious nerd. I dreamed of being the first female train engineer from my town, and I was overweight, so Shayla and her gang of cheerleader ghouls would often call me names like Nerd Monster, the Human Gorilla, and Ugliest Freak in the Universe. The trauma never goes away, and my mental wounds fester like a third-degree sunburn after a day without sunscreen on the beach. Still, I let this motivate me to succeed. I am now a successful train engineer. As for Shayla, she doesn't do crap. She sits around on TikTok, Instagram, all the various apps. I don't think there's an app she doesn't have. I think if you looked up phone addiction in the dictionary, you'd find a picture of Shayla. I wouldn't care, but Shayla has remained a thorn in my side since my older brother Deebler, 30 male, ended up marrying her. I begged and pleaded for him not to marry this foul beast, but Deebler swears that I simply don't know Shayla's good side. I don't think she even has a good side. Still, I wanted to support my brother, so I attended the wedding and gave the marriage my blessing. Shayla hasn't changed much since her high school days. She gets drunk at family functions and makes fun of me for having a manly job, or a job for ugly men, according to her. She has made insensitive remarks about my personal life. My doormat of a brother Deebler is too spineless to stand up for me. Our CEO father was the only one who would call out Shayla's awful behavior. My father was always protective of me and Deebler. Our mother died in a hang gliding accident when we were young, and our father worked hard and became a CEO to provide us with a good life. That all changed when my father recently passed away. Me and Deebler are still quite shaken with grief. The only consolation is knowing he worked hard his whole life and has left me and Deebler with considerable sums of money. I would trade any amount of money to have my father back, but sometimes in life, this is just the way Lady Luck dances. My father's body was not even cold yet when Shayla began running her mouth about the money. This ticked me off. We were at the funeral, trying to have a good ceremony to honor the wonderful life of my father, and Shayla was drunk as heck. I'm going to miss your dad and all, said Shayla, but I can't wait to get a giant sum of money. I'm going to be rolling in cash. Your father was a CEO, and I know he would have left something for his sweet daughter-in-law. This comment was so rude it sent me flying over the edge. You're out of your mind, Shayla, I said. You really think my dad would have left you anything after the way you treated me? You tormented me in high school and continued to belittle me as an adult. My father thought you were a piece of trash. Everyone at the funeral was stunned. You could have heard a pin drop in there. Deebler looked especially hurt. Is this true, Monica? Did my father believe my beloved Shayla was a piece of trash? Asked Deebler. I can't lie to you. Father never liked her. That's why he didn't leave her a dime, I said. I knew the truth would hurt, but he needed to know. Besides, it was too late to take back what I had said. Shayla started sobbing in a corner as Deebler tried to comfort her. The funeral ended and we all went home. Reddit, did I do the right thing here? I don't feel bad for Shayla, but I worry about hurting my brother's feelings. Number 1. Hi, people. Monica here with an update for you people on Reddit reading the story. So, obviously my father's funeral did not go so well. My brother Deebler and my foul sister-in-law Shayla are quite ticked off at me. I thought everyone would carry on and be mature adults about all this, but I guess that would be expecting too much from Shayla. She has such a hold on my brother Deebler, but even I am surprised he let her go through with this. Today I woke up to a knock on my door from a lawyer who was serving me with a notice, claiming I was being sued for emotional damages to Shayla. She claimed she was traumatized by my harsh words at Dad's funeral. Reddit, what are the first steps I should take in solving this problem? I simply don't know what to do to get out of this crazy mess. Shayla must pay for this. I called my brother, and all he said was that he wasn't allowed to discuss the case. What a spineless fool. Update number 2. Hello to the people of Reddit reading posts. This is Monica with an update. After doing some research, I decided to hire a local private investigator named Eloy Camel, 49 male. He said he thinks he can find some dirt on Shayla to get this whole case thrown out of court. Wish me luck, Reddit, because I'm going to need it like a bear needs honey. In the meantime, I decided to engage in some espionage myself. I know Shayla likes to hang out at Macaroni Grill and drink beer sometimes. I could use a bite to eat myself, so I decided to stop by and see if I could spot Shayla up to any nefarious deeds. I was smart enough to wear a disguise to Macaroni Grill because my investigative hunch was correct. Shayla was sitting at the bar drinking beer and watching sports. But that's not all she was doing. She was holding hands with another man. I pulled out my cell phone and started filming them from my table. I could hardly focus on my sandwich. Shayla and the mystery man started making out. I had the proof I needed. I texted the footage to Eloy Camel, my private investigator I mentioned earlier. I noticed the mystery man with Shayla exited the bar. I sat patiently waiting. I then received a text from Eloy Camel. Eloy told me he was the mystery man making out with Shayla. He had donned the disguise, set up a fake dating profile to seduce Shayla, and she fell for it like a fool. Me and Eloy Camel had the evidence we needed to take down Shayla. Now we are waiting for the court case. This is going to be an interesting one, Reddit. I will let you know how it goes. Update number 3. Good evening, Reddit. Monica here, and this will be my final update. I wanted to tell you all about the court case and everything that happened. It was a wild ride, that I can tell you. When we got to court, I could see Shayla wearing her finest clothes. Deebler was wearing his finest tuxedo. It pained me to see Deebler, my own brother, standing by Shayla's side. Of course, I knew I had the best person on my team, Eloy Camel, ready to help me out. I knew Deebler would change his tune once he saw the evidence we had. The judge began the court proceedings. Shayla's lawyer began telling some ridiculous tall tales, trying to paint me out to be some sort of monster. It was almost comical. Almost. Things took a turn once it was Eloy Camel's turn to take the stand. Please introduce yourself, said the judge. I am Eloy Camel, private investigator. I have some evidence of, shall we say, impropriety that I do believe this court will be interested in witnessing, said Eloy Camel. Your Honor, does this have anything to do with the matter at hand? The defendant has inflicted great mental anguish upon my client, Mrs. Shayla, said Shayla's lawyer. Objection overruled, said the judge. We should see both sides of this story. Thank you, Your Honor, said Eloy Camel. Let's play the tapes. The court gasped. The judge gasped. Shayla's lawyer gasped. But then I heard pain, pure unyielding pain. My brother Deebler began sobbing and crying out, Why? Why did you do this to me? There it was on video for everyone to see. It was a tape of Shayla making out with Eloy Camel in his disguise. I also took this opportunity to reveal to the court that I had been there in disguise as well. Shayla was clearly befuddled by this revelation. Eloy Camel said he had another tape. I was not told of another tape, but I was intrigued by this. It had to be something good. Turns out, I was right. Eloy Camel saved the best evidence for last. The whole courtroom was hooting and hollering after this. There it was. Eloy Camel had video evidence of Shayla making out with her own lawyer behind the same macaroni grill. This was a clear violation of ethics, not to mention the sheer moral ineptitude Shayla displayed by choosing to cheat on her partner not once, but twice. The judge claimed he had seen enough. He banged his gavel. There was more than enough evidence to dismiss this suit as quite frivolous. The judge declared that Shayla must not be in too much emotional distress if she had time to run around cheating on her husband at Macaroni Grill. I laughed and laughed over my victory. Of course, I felt bad for Deebler. He had just seen the evidence that his own wife was willing to cheat on him with a private investigator in disguise, as well as her own lawyer. Who else was she willing to mess around with? Unfortunately, Deebler's anger got the best of him. He punched the lawyer right in the face, and he was knocked out cold. Shayla then kicked Deebler right in his private area. It was an embarrassing mess to behold. Deebler, Shayla, and the lawyer were all arrested for their foolish crimes. Here I am, sitting at home, enjoying my victory, although it was bittersweet. I know Deebler will be charged with assault, but I'm glad Shayla will also be charged with assault. And Deebler is going to divorce Shayla. I bailed him out of jail and gave him a place to stay during the separation. He's staying in my spare bedroom. Shayla is still sitting in jail because nobody wants to bail her out. The good news in all this? Eloy Camel, my private investigator, asked me out on a date. I had to say yes after all he did for me. Plus, I should add, he is quite handsome. Thank you, people of Reddit, for reading this post. I could not have survived this without the help of you Reddit people. Thank you. All right. That was a pretty good story. I'm just gonna give a few of my thoughts on that. I think we can all agree that Monica did what she had to do in the end. I mean, I think most of us know someone like Shayla in our lives.